Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I have digital assets on the brain. I actually made my 7-year-old late for school this morning because I was so focused on preparing my first video of the day that I literally lost track of time. I looked up and it was like 8:09, and the poor kid had to do the walk of shame and walk into school late. Many of you that are listening to my voice probably realize how a lot of times when you're reading the news and things when you wake up in the morning, you just get buried in all of this and you can really get sucked in. And this morning I got sucked in so bad that I had literally made my son late for school. Not cool. I wanted to show the market this morning. We had a little bit of a pullback, but what's so awesome is that our pullbacks are not severe. For those of you that have been here for a couple of years, you can remember some mornings where we woke up and we would see, minus 10, 15% in XRP. And some of those days were pretty rough and you'd be like, whoa, how much longer can I take this? And we lost many people along the way to those type of days as well, but it just isn't the same vibe anymore. Okay, moving on. Sergeant Obi-Wan sent me this. Crypto strategist says XRP poised for major moves to the upside, but warns Bitcoin will have to cool down first. What's interesting about these articles is that they write entire articles around one tweet. So whereas I do entire videos around 15 or 20 tweets. So tweets seem to be where it's at. But this is, and again, I'm not a chart guy or anything like that, but every once in a while I'll come across one that's interesting. And what's interesting here to me is this chart guy's saying that XRP has broken the 2-year-old downtrend. I think this one will do well when Bitcoin calms down. Broke a 2-year-old downtrend this is on the BTC pair, and flipped back in the range on the USD pair. Holding above 0.24 to 25, we could see continuations towards a range high at 47 cents and possibly 60 cents. So I thought that was interesting. Now, this is a must-see, folks. I tweeted this out yesterday, and it was provided to me by David DePriest. As many of you know, Geneva, Switzerland is considered a financial hub of the world. This is a display in their airport. Zero doubt ever. And this is an actual display in the Geneva airport that gives them it's almost like a ticker. Almost looks like the stock market, right? For some reason, in Geneva, Switzerland, they have found it important enough to list crypto asset prices. And it looks like they've got an asset, they've got a digital coin of their own. I'm not sure what the Ducas coin is or Ducas coin, but I'm sure it's some kind of Swiss coin that they've created, stable coin or something that they've created. This is fascinating, folks. Okay, but it shows you where all this is going. Now look where else it's all going. This is from XRP Crypto Wolf. Japan ruling party panel aims to put the digital yen on the government's mid-year key policy guidelines. Digital currencies could prevent a big swing at a time of crisis and stabilize our own economy. Japan wants to create a CBDC within 2 to 3 years. Guess who's huge in Japan, folks? That would be Ripple and XRP, the greatest digital asset ever created. I'm sure XRP can help their CBDC to bridge to other CBDCs. That's a central bank digital currency for those of you that don't know. Then XRP Crypto Wolf. Ripple, mentioned by France's central bank, attributes a unit of the CBDC may be integrated in a crypto asset circulating on another blockchain, which is possible on Ethereum and Ripple. It would then be possible to use the unit on this blockchain. And this is the documentation from the Central Bank of France, where they're showing Ripple. Not too bad when your digital asset, and this is a good question for all of you out there that own digital assets. Is your digital asset being mentioned by central banks around the world? Mine is. Okay, Mike Preston, at Mike Preston, CW12, sent me this. Government officials in Germany confirm that several banks have filed a request to launch a digital asset custody business. Here's my question. I've asked this question a lot to many people out there. The thing you need to ask yourself is when you can walk into your bank and not just get your dollars or whatever your fiat are, but also exchange them for digital assets such as XRP, the greatest digital asset ever created. When you can do that, when you can walk out of there and have XRP on your phone or whatever, you won't be walking out of there. I think it'll all be on your phone. But when you can move from XRP to US dollar, do you know how much liquidity is going to be in this system? The answer to that question is a lot, lot. Okay. But these guys getting on board with custody, they're telling you what is coming. They're telling you, my son needs to draw a picture of a bank and digital asset custody, and maybe that'll make it more clear. Michelle Vandenberg sent me this. Now, here you go. BitGo. Now, remember, BitGo is the largest custody company right now, but we haven't seen Polysign yet. Polysign is coming. But in the meantime, BitGo is the largest digital asset custody company and the most reputable that I know of right now. BitGo, this is from Bank XRP, BitGo expands to global presence with regulated custody in Switzerland and Germany. I wonder why Switzerland and Germany are so interested. Now remember, Germany is also one of the financial centers of the world. These are some of the smartest people in the world. Switzerland has always been ground zero for the world's wealth. It says we'll apply for regulatory approval when the application window opens on November 2020. BitGo is moving into Switzerland and Germany. That's because those people know what's coming. And then this from CoinDesk, just in, cold storage custody provider. Crypto, this is called the Volt, I guess, is offering clients secure data centers from IBM to hold and encrypt their private keys. You see where this is all going, folks, is that custody is the whole key, and custody is being handled right before our eyes. And it's being done so that Fidelity and all these other companies can say, hey, now you can come and buy your digital assets. You don't have to store them yourself. It's all taken care of, just like it's always been taken care of with stocks and bonds and everything else when you buy them through a traditional financial source. People, and this was told, I heard one of the guys that does the interest-bearing digital asset accounts, I think I heard him say it one time. He said that basically this whole thing is not going to happen if people have to all put their digital assets on hard wallets. But in the short run, we that use hard wallets, we use them because it is the only smart way to do it right now. In the future, it won't be the only smart way to do it. We will be able to just put our digital assets on platforms, and that will be that. And that's when the masses will finally be here. And then it'll be too late to change your life financially. Chinu Patel, at Chinu Patel 29, sent me this. This is a quote from XRP Stewart. It's an Ashish Burla quote from February 5th of this year, just a few days ago, 5 days. Firstly, we don't go into a country where there is not good regulatory understanding of digital assets. And so I think that's like a key area that we need you to unblock, I guess, before moving ODL into a given destination or originating country. So it's all about regulatory certainty, folks. Now, this was a tweet right here that was sent to me from Chinu Patel, I think, from this guy. Had lunch. I'm not sure who this guy is. Let's see. He is Suzu, CEO of CIO. Had lunch with the largest shareholder of ICE last week. He asked why Bakkt isn't gaining more market share versus BitMEX, Deribit, etc. I said over-reliant on clearing brokers, can't margin in BTC, can't trade 24/7, can't trade infinitesimal sizes, 10 times more expensive. Now, some of these things they need to work on. But the biggest one they need to work on is the one I mentioned to Bakkt when I retweeted this. Hi, Bakkt. I can give you a simple answer. Add XRP. And I did a poll yesterday to let Back know how many customers that they could get instantly if their new Back app allows XRP on the platform. And it was, I think there were thousands of customers that they could get. I'll show that poll to you maybe in the next video. I forgot to pull it up. X-Men XRP sent me this. This is a video from Real XRP Boy, and it's an interesting one. It's with Susan Athey, who's on the board of Ripple. She's a very smart lady. Listen to what she has to say.
We also see changes in industry structure. We can see small...
Let me refresh that so you can see her. I don't know why that didn't come up right. There we go.
We also see changes in industry structure. We can see smaller banks compete globally when they don't have to ride the rails of larger banks and pay their fees. We see that companies have more of a global reach when they can make payments throughout the world. And of course, inclusion for individuals as well. If we make the cost of serving individuals very low, we can therefore serve more individuals. We also can offer individuals better ways to save. They don't have to have gold necklaces on their neck. They don't have to have things stuffed in their mattresses when they have access to international financial markets. When all of this comes on board, more of the economy goes above ground. That also helps with taxation and allows us to lower marginal tax rates if everybody's paying tax. And that allows the economy to be more efficient. And I generally believe that many of these innovations will be passed on to consumers and business customers through competition. Not all innovation does get passed on to consumers. If you have an automated factory, but the firm making products has monopoly power, they might reduce costs, but not lower prices to consumers. But I believe that in the financial sector, as payments become instantaneous and as costs come out of the system, much of that will flow to the rest of the economy, benefiting economic growth globally, and particularly benefiting countries that suffer today from high frictions and inability to make global payments. In parts of the world, it can take 2 weeks to get money from the US to those places, and they just can't be part of the global economy under those circumstances.
I think we know what she's talking about. And then X-Men XRP sent me this. Now this is, listen up and listen very closely here, folks. This is something I've been saying for over a year and a half. Every asset class will be digitized and tokenized, says Cred's co-founder. And this guy is Dan Schott, who is the co-founder of this Cred, I guess, I think Cred Earn is they pay interest on it on digital assets. But I wanted to read to you his last thing. It says, what do you see for Bitcoin in the future? And I think this is talking about digital assets in general. He says, I came to the conclusion in 2015 or so that everything is going to be tokenized. Every asset class will be digitized and then tokenized. Look at the $8 trillion market for gold. More gold today is held globally as an ETF, exchange traded fund, than as a bar of gold. We can now take monolithic, extensive assets and break them up and allow everyone to benefit. We got to 6 decimal points with stock, but with Bitcoin, you could go even further. A person in Ethiopia with access to the internet may one day be able to buy 1 cent worth of Apple stock. There you go, folks. And this is the most important line in the whole thing. And that's how Bitcoin's market will go from 200 billion to 200 trillion, because it's going to envelop other existing asset class as much as developing its own asset class. Boom. There you go. That's what we've been talking about, folks. And he's right. Now then, Ian Northing put this out. Oh, drama. Everyone knows this is right. AnyPay's CEO says Bitcoin is worthless for payment. Disables Bitcoin payment. We've seen this happen before. It happened with Overstock a while back. They had started doing it, and then they did. I think it was Overstock. But Bitcoin is never going to be anything more than a store of value unless it runs through the through the Interledger protocol. Okay, we've made that. It's very obvious. I found an oldie but goodie video that many of you have probably never seen. And I wanted you to watch this. This is Ashton Kutcher on the Ellen Show. Watch this.
On behalf of Ripple.
Oh, let me refresh that. Hold on.
On behalf of Ripple, we'd like to give you $4 million. Now, usually people come out with the big giant check and do the big giant check thing, but we can actually transfer it into Rwandan francs right now, right here, and all we have to do is push this button and it's in your account. Do you want to push it? You want me to push it?
I would like to push it. I'd like to push it real good.
Bingo.
All right. Oh my God. That was the most amazing thing. Thank you. I love you both so much. You know that. And I love Ripple. Thank you, Ripple, for doing this. And now everybody knows you can just send money easily like that.
So there you go. That's one of the oldie but goodies. I've been looking for some old videos that a lot of the new people into digital assets have not seen, just to try to make you realize just what you're a part of. Now, I wanted to show this. Many of you that are new especially, do not realize this, but for the last 2 years, all you've heard is that, Bitcoin and digital assets, they can be used for money laundering, and the inference is that it's untrackable. Actually, the exact opposite is true. It is extremely trackable. I believe it was created partially for its trackability for the tax man. And so you need to understand that. And this is just an article that does Coinbase report to the IRS. The answer is yes. If you're in the mindset that cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin are tax-free due to their cryptographic nature, then think again. Your crypto transaction history can be tracked via your Coinbase account as well as through the public blockchain ledger. Thus, it's important that you properly file your taxes for all digital asset activities. So I tell you all that because we're going into tax season, at least in the U.S. This Token Tax is an awesome company. I've worked something out with their CEO so that you could all get 10% off of their services. They help you take all those transactions you've done and figure out what you owe and pay your taxes on that. It's a really cool service. You get 10% off in the description of all my videos. Below the video, just look down there in the description and you'll find a coupon code so you can get 10% off. And also you can get, there's until Valentine's Day on the 14th of February this week, you can get, if you buy Ledger Nano X to store your digital assets offline, which is the safest way, they're going to give you a free Ledger Nano S. And that's also in the description of all my videos. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe and hit the like button and tell your friends and family to pay their crypto taxes. Thank you for listening.